Honorable External Affairs Minister of India, Dr. S. Jaishankar, Deputy Prime Minister of the UK, Right Honorable Angela Rayner, Parliamentary Under Secretary of the State, Catherine West, Deputy Mayor, Paul Dennett, High Commissioner of India to the UK, Mr. Vikram Doraiswamy, officers from the High Commission of India, esteemed friends of India, ladies and gentlemen. Very good morning to all of you. I welcome you all here on this momentous occasion of the opening of the new Consulate General of India in Manchester. My name is Vishakha Yaduvanshi, and I'm honored to lead this newly established consulate as we embark on a journey of deeper engagement and collaboration between India and the UK. I'm confident that the Consulate General of India will foster deeper engagements with the Indian diaspora, facilitate trade and investment, and overall strengthening of strategic partnership between the two countries. With this, it is my distinct pleasure to invite His Excellency Mr. Vikram Doraiswamy, High Commissioner of India to the UK, to deliver the welcome address. Sir.
Thank you, Vishakha, and a warm welcome to you to Manchester. Your Excellency, Deputy Prime Minister, Your Excellency, Minister West, my boss, our External Affairs Minister, Dr. S. Jaishankar, members of Parliament, Nav Mishra in particular, I thank you for being here. Our two Honorary Consuls General from Cardiff and Newcastle upon Tyne, to be exact. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being here. 2 years ago, Deputy Prime Minister, I had the good fortune of visiting this area to visit Stockport and sample some of Stockport's local beer, and of course to come and call upon you, Deputy Prime Minister. And the first thing that I heard loud and clear from all of our friends in Manchester was that, great though it was to have a consulate in Birmingham and of course a big team in London dealing with the relationship, what we really needed were two things. One, cricket players. No, I'm kidding. Direct flights between Manchester and India, and a consulate. Thanks to my minister and the decisions of our government, we have delivered within these 2 years on the consulate. And of course, I understand that our private airlines are soon to deliver on the second commitment, which is to have direct flights from here to India. Of course, it would have been much easier for all of us if the final parts of the decision-making process at the administrative levels had been a little quicker. We signed the contract for this building on Sunday last. And Vishakha has reached here, what, 48 hours ago? 48 hours ago. So nothing like doing things just in time. As you know, this is the objective. We try and do everything in time, but it is nice if we could do it well in time. Our goal here thereafter will be to serve our community, which is large, diverse, full of energy, and driven by the opportunity to build ties between India and the UK, in particular in business, where the Manchester-India partnership, supported by the Greater Manchester Council, and of course by a great friend of the India-UK partnership, Simon, who's sitting right here, and Joe Ahmed, who's helped us run this for the last, 4 years now, Joe? A little over 4 years now. Our student community, that is part of some of the most exciting research happening, including at Manchester University's Graphene Center, and of course our arts and cultural community, which are beautifully represented in the new South Asia Gallery in Manchester's fantastic museum. Manchester, ladies and gentlemen, is the Ahmedabad of the UK. It is the textile city with a long connection with India, just as Ahmedabad is the Manchester of India. The connection with our minister is very direct. Our minister represents the state of Gujarat in the upper house of Parliament. And so it was most appropriate that we have him here to launch this new consulate, the first one that we opened in several decades in the United Kingdom. As we move ahead, we look forward with our team integrated between London, Birmingham and Manchester, and further afield in Edinburgh and now Belfast, in being able to deliver more services to the community, more business connectivity, more cultural connectivity, and in a word, an even bigger and better India-UK relationship. Thank you for your attention. Thank you for coming out. And with your support, much more India in Manchester, much more Manchester in India. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Now I would like to request Right Honourable Deputy Prime Minister to come and address the gathering.
Thank you and good morning everyone, and to Your Excellency, Ambassador, to members of Parliament, Nav, who is the Member of Parliament for Stockport here and a good friend of mine. I couldn't be prouder to stand as a Mancunian here today after a couple of years ago mentioning this, because I was saying to the Minister it's probably one of the biggest things that's in my inbox actually, is demands for direct flights and also for the consulate here, which will have a huge impact on our community that we're incredibly proud of. Our links go back such a long time, and our businesses, our communities, our community space, our celebrations, everything that is Mancunian is Indian as well. And we are incredibly proud of that fact. And it's a huge pleasure to welcome you all to Manchester. It's not my bit of Manchester anymore. I was born just up the road from here, but this is Nav's bit, but you are incredibly welcome. And we brought a bit of Indian sunshine for you today. Doesn't happen that often, but we've got some for you today. And I was delighted to receive the invitation from the Minister to celebrate the opening of India's new Consulate General in my home city. The Prime Minister has asked me to pass on his very best wishes. I know you met with him earlier this week. He's thrilled that India is expanding its diplomatic reach both here and in Belfast. It's a fantastic moment for Manchester, where I'm so proud to be a Member of Parliament, and it also says so much about our two nations as allies, friends and partners. Across generations, the Indian community have contributed so much to our great city. Together, we're finding new ways to make our relationship even stronger. It's based on already firm foundations of respect and cooperation, and it recognises the immense potential for mutual growth and opportunities. I saw these firsthand in my visit to India back in 2007 and again when I returned last year. And I felt that transformation in that time was absolutely phenomenal. It was amazing. And to see, of course, India is now projected to become the world's fourth biggest economy in 2026. The new consulate's a vital bridge to the UK, a testament to this. This one will support the amazing businesses in the northwest of England owned by a sizable Indian community, which has played a huge role in over many years of our success. We're very proud of the brand new gallery in Manchester Museum, the first permanent expedition in the UK to celebrate the richness and diversity of South Asian diaspora. It will be fantastic to welcome many of you to Old Trafford later, the scene of so many mighty contests between our countries. Now, you might think it's brave of me to bring up cricket in this room after the winter we've had, but I'm an optimist. And as we celebrate International Women's Day, woo, I look forward to seeing England's women try and even things out against India this summer. This year's theme, Accelerate Action, calls for even faster progress towards gender equality, an issue that's really close to my heart. And I know the Indian government has introduced a number of programmes and projects that recognise the role of women and their contribution to society and how crucial that is to their economy. And that's brilliant. And I saw some of that on my visit. And we've been doing that in the UK too, but we need to recognise that in our country, there is still a way to go before women of all social and economic backgrounds have equal voice and access to opportunities. And that's crucial if we're to build a truly sustainable growth and raise living standards for everyone. And as we look to the future, let us embrace this new consulate as part of the new chapter in India and UK relations, a symbol of our shared values, our mutual respect, and our commitment to work together for the benefit of both of our nations. And I'm absolutely honoured to be here today, and I hope the consulate acts as a beacon of friendship and cooperation for many years to come. And now, I'm going to hand over to my colleague, Catherine West, the Minister from the Foreign and Commonwealth and Development Office, to say a few words. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, Angela. And you know it's a special occasion when you get Angela, because she's one of our favourites. So it's lovely, lovely to be in Manchester this morning, and also for Manchester to have turned on the beautiful sunshine, a touch of India for us, and on International Women's Day to be welcoming this wonderful servant of the people here for all of our diaspora, to be welcoming and to try and get rid of those irritants when you're doing business that you just need to kind of sort out with governments. So I know that you'll be a wonderful addition to our family here. And I am thrilled to be here, and I'm looking forward very much to our brief visit to Old Trafford later today, and also Tottenham tomorrow, where you'll be looked after by my colleague David. Of course, some of us are Arsenal supporters, so it's neither Manchester nor Tottenham, but it will be a lovely weekend of sport. And that's just one of the areas where there's so much growth between our two countries. And also, it's been wonderful to see the different regions, not just Manchester, but of course, yesterday, Dr. Jaishankar was in Belfast, and we have all these wonderful growing communities. Now, at the heart of any consulate are the services, and we do hope that this is a helpful building for people, and that the Living Bridge will feel that it's got a true home here as well. And of course, we know that Manchester has got so much going on, whether that's the building of new homes, whether that's the tech and the modern approach to all of our youngsters, both having a young population here, but also in India, and also trying to think of new things to do. Some of the jobs in 10 years' time, we can't even imagine what they are now. And it's places like Manchester with its vibrant university sector where we will see that, as well as healthcare. We know that the universities offer a wonderful course, and this week the statistics have just been in the press that we have more healthcare workers from areas like India, where we've had that long, long tradition of Indian doctors and nurses and healthcare workers across the piece, and we look forward to those collaborations as well. Our commitment will refresh our comprehensive strategic partnership, fostering growth, innovation and closer collaboration on global challenges as well, such as climate change, the ongoing negotiations for the free trade agreement, and our trajectory is clear that the relationship will get closer and stronger. Today's a crucial milestone in that growth, and I know that we'll go from strength to strength here in Manchester and beyond. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Madam Deputy Prime Minister and the Minister, for reassuring remarks. Now I would request our Honourable External Affairs Minister to give his remarks, which we are waiting for.
Deputy Prime Minister Angela Rayner, Minister Catherine West, High Commissioner, Consul General, Members of Parliament, Deputy Mayor, and my brothers, sisters from India, people from Manchester. It's really a wonderful feeling to be here today with all of you. And let me begin by saying namaskar and happy International Women's Day. And Minister West completely agreed. Nothing could be more fitting than to have a Consul General inaugurate her consulate on this day. So it wasn't just, it was not only just in time, but we actually got the day right. let me reflect for a moment on what really this occasion means to us. In some ways, it's about the past. We are making up for a lot of things perhaps we could have and should have done earlier. I was told it's almost 40 years since we last opened a consulate in this country. And if you look at those 40 years, actually there's been a tremendous change. Change in the quality of our relationship, change in the diaspora, in the Indian community, in the number of Indian students here, in the connections that we have with business, with universities, with practically every walk of life. Even cricket has changed in 40 years. So, in some senses, our presence here today in a formal way is an acknowledgement really of how much this relationship has matured in the last 4 decades. But, and I want to say this with great emphasis, it is equally a preparation for what is to come. And what is to come, as you know, I think the portents are quite clear, is a much deeper, closer partnership between India and the United Kingdom. Clearly, the free trade agreement is very much at the heart of that in the near term. But we look at the free trade agreement not simply as a trade or even investment understanding between us, but as something much bigger, really a game changer, a symbolic shift to a higher orbit of relationship. So I would also urge you to think of this consulate as really preparing for that era, that we are clearly anticipating a very big pickup in the relationship in the times to come. Now, already I can see, Manchester is hugely invested in India and the other way around. I'm told that the trade with this region is about 700 million pounds, that there are more than perhaps 300 Indian firms here. By the way, my experience is anytime I come up with a statistic, somebody corrects me with a larger number. So I came in here with a number for the size of the community, but after hearing you, I decided to keep it to myself. Because apparently the community has grown since we last assessed it. So whether it's the students, whether it's the community, whether it's the Indian companies here, whether it's the Manchester-India partnership. So there is really a lot going for us in this region. And when you are that invested, it is really, I think, common sense that we should have a diplomatic consular presence here. So I'm very confident that the establishment of this consulate would give a fillip to the relationship. In fact, the first time we met, the Deputy PM raised 2 issues, which was one, the consulate, the other was the flight. And I think we have, as the High Commissioner said, delivered in one, and we're hopefully almost there with the other. And I'm sure there'll be more asks to come. And I'm sure there'll be more efforts on our part to meet those asks. So I again want to say how pleased I am to actually be here on this occasion. It's something which mattered to me. It's, by the way, my first visit to Manchester as well. So I also, even though it's a brief visit, in a way, it's been a learning experience. Foreign ministers are quick learners. So even if you are there for a day, we pick up something along the way. So it's really, really been a great pleasure. And I want to add one more comment, and that was from something which the Deputy PM said. Today is the International Women's Day, and I want to share with all of you really the change that has happened in terms of gender equity and in putting women's issues in the center of our policy in the last decade under Prime Minister Modi. it's reflected in a variety of ways. One of his earliest public campaigns, if you would remember, 2014, 2015, it seems long ago now, was actually a campaign which was called Beti Padhao, Beti Bachao, which is broadly like educate your daughter to progress her. Now, around the same time, he actually pushed very strongly for a big campaign to actually, address a problem which most people felt even awkward talking about, which was the lack of facilities for women, bathroom facilities, toilets for women in our country. For those, and it was, in a way, it was something we all knew, yet didn't talk about, and therefore didn't do anything about. But if one looks at it, it was actually impacting so many people's lives that, they had to build their daily work cycle around this. Many of them wouldn't send their girls to school because of the absence of facilities. So it was something which was very grounded and yet very consequential. And today, when we look at where that approach has carried us, a few years ago, 2 years ago to be precise, we were the chair of the G20, the president of the G20. We took a number of initiatives, and it was a particularly difficult presidency at that time. The world was very polarized. People were not willing to sit with each other. But among our achievements, one of the proudest achievements we have, other than getting the African Union as a member of the G20 on a permanent basis, was for G20 to adopt the concept of women-led development. It was something, which was almost like I would say, went against the grain for a lot of people in a very deep-seated cultural way. So I mentioned that today because today is a very relevant occasion to reflect on where we stand. And we've seen in the last decade how much, for example, school attendance and school retention has grown. In fact, how much the balance of male-female ratio has changed even in terms of the population, because we have seen, for example, great role models emerge in sports. They've had a huge impact in how girls are perceived in their families across India. So often when we speak about India, and we roll out the numbers, you talk about the economic growth, the business change, technology, infrastructure. I think sometimes we need to talk about the social changes in India as well. And the social changes in the last 10 years have been dramatic. So now that we have a consulate and will get a flight, I urge you all, please visit India more often. We've made it that much easier for you. Please come and see the changes there. Please bring your friends along. We would like others to come to India as well. And I'm sure that, sometimes one action triggers many consequences. I'm sure today that the establishment of this consulate will have a very powerful, really very positive impact on our partnership. And thank you again for joining us this morning.
So for your presence and guidance. Now we have the Deputy Mayor of Greater Manchester Combined Authority. I would request him to address the gathering, please.
First of all, sincere apologies for being a little bit late, but I was coming from Warrington and the trains were delayed, so sincere apologies for that. Okay, so my name is Paul Dennett. I'm the Deputy Mayor for the Greater Manchester Combined Authority. It's a real honour and privilege to be here today, and unfortunately Mayor Burnham can't be with us because he is actually in America at this point in time, along with the leader of Manchester. So today we celebrate the strong and growing relationship between Greater Manchester and India. We take great pride in our deep connections with India, and we continue to strengthen and flourish. India remains one of the priority key markets within the Greater Manchester international strategy, demonstrating the absolute importance of India to this city region, as well as our global ambitions. Recognising this, here in Greater Manchester, you'll be aware we established the Manchester-India Partnership back in 2018. And that was all about driving forward Greater Manchester's relationship with India. This initiative reflects our commitment to fostering collaborative arrangements across a whole range of different sectors of our economy, but also ensuring that our relationship with India continues to thrive. India is a priority for us across all pillars of Greater Manchester's international strategy. And over the years, we've developed strong trade and investment ties, welcoming esteemed Indian companies such as Tech Mahindra, Hero Cycles to the city region. In addition to this, our universities also connect substantially with India. We have over 3,000 Indian students currently studying at Greater Manchester's universities, enriching our academic as well as our cultural landscape here in Greater Manchester. Direct connectivity remains a key ambition for the city region, and we're actively working with Manchester Airport to establish direct routes, further strengthening our ties and facilitating business, education, and also tourism exchanges. Just this Thursday, you may have seen, Indigo Air announced that they'll be launching a direct route from Manchester this summer. What a great achievement. This marks for us a significant milestone in our efforts to enhance connectivity between both of our nations and also the city region here in Greater Manchester. Culture and sport are also integral to our partnership. In 2023, we proudly launched the South Asian Gallery at Manchester Museum, shaped by contributions from our vibrant diaspora community here in Greater Manchester. Additionally, the sporting connections between Manchester and India continue to thrive. Manchester City Football Club's links with Mumbai City Football and Lancashire Cricket Club's upcoming hosting of the India and England women and men's games this summer builds a rich history, including obviously the unforgettable India-Pakistan match in 2019. So looking ahead, I'm really excited about the many and varied opportunities that we have working closely with this consulate to further deepen our relationship between Greater Manchester and India. And this consulate will play a crucial role in supporting those strong Indian ties, but also the diaspora here within Greater Manchester. And as we've already heard, it is a growing community, having lots of positive impact across our city region. But we need to ensure that all of you have access to essential resources, cultural initiatives, and those business opportunities. So together, I am optimistic that we can serve the people of Greater Manchester as well as the needs and aspirations of our respective nations. And also in supporting our business community, we have a huge opportunity to seize new opportunities through the UK-India Free Trade Agreement, currently, as we know, in development with the government. So it is a real honour and privilege to be here with you all today to celebrate the opening of this really important facility and institution, really, within Greater Manchester. Let's build on what today represents, and let's continue to deliver for the UK-India relationships. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your kind remarks. With this, we wrap up today here at this event. And I invite, I first of all thank all of you for joining us today here. And I invite for some Indian nice refreshments served at the back. Thank you very much once again for coming.